It's my pleasure to introduce Jeremy Grimshaw, who's a professor of music and one of the leaders of our music program at BYU. He is also the face of Balinese Gamelan in Provo and facilitates coursework where you can actually take a course where you learn Balinese Gamelan here in Provo. This semester is unique because we do have visiting artists from Indonesia who are in residence for a period of time with us, who are with us today. So I'd like to introduce Professor Jeremy Grimshaw, who will then introduce the presentation. Jeremy.
Thank you, Quinn. Thanks for having us. Thanks for the invitation to be here, and thank you all for being here. In most semesters, I'm the director of Gamelan Bintang Wahyu, which is the name of the Balinese percussion orchestra that we have here at BYU. The name of the group is on the front of that instrument, Bintang Wahyu. Bintang means star, and Wahyu means like vision, like revelation, yeah. So kind of Star of Vision is the name of the group. But Balinese culture likes to use plays on words. And so a linguist friend of mine came up with the name of the group because if you say Bintang Wahyu, but you take out one of the syllables, then it's BYU. So. This is a much scaled down version because of the size of the room. This is a much scaled down version of our full ensemble. We performed on November 4th. I think we had probably 30 people and 7 dancers on the stage. So if you think this is loud, and it is, and this is not a huge room, just imagine about 4 times this size, and that's how big and powerful this kind of ensemble is. Our ensemble is a mix of registered students and community members. And at any given time, the mix is about half and half. And we did that by design from the very beginning when we set up this ensemble because we wanted it to create a sense of community because in a very granular way, the way that the music and dance are put together, the way the individual parts interact, it very much fosters and reflects a really deep and profound and gratifying sense of community. So our ensemble at any given time might have 12 or 14 or 17 registered students, and then we have some alums. Rachel is an alum of our program, and she's been in the ensemble for quite some time. Dirk is a linguist on campus. Grady is one of my children that I roped into playing at a very young age. And Noah and Michaela are students. So it's a really fun mix of people. It also means that the group has some collective memory, has some collective knowledge. So when new students come into that community, they can learn from other members of the group. And so that makes it just a really gratifying, really fun, and really artistically and personally rewarding experience for the students. And if that sounds at all appealing to you, then you should just wander over sometime. That's how most of these people ended up in the group, is they paused a little too long at the door as they were walking past. So we rehearse on Fridays from 4 to 6:50 during the regular semester. And if you enter the new music building from the west side, you'll hear it. It's like the second door in. So, but this semester, I'm not the director of Gamelan Bintang Wahyu, and I'm thrilled about that because the guest director is one of my teachers and one of my artistic heroes, Nyoman Windha, who's seated there by the drum. He is here in a joint residency with his wife, who is an esteemed Balinese dancer, Ibu Gusti Agung Ayu Warsiki. She's over at the gong there. And such a joy to have them here. They came here a few years ago and had to go home early because of COVID. So we brought them back with a vengeance. Professor Windha has been teaching the Gamelan ensemble, and Professor Warsiki has been teaching Balinese dance classes, and it's just been such a joy to have them here. So what we'd like to do today is kind of have a little bit of a panel discussion about the theme. So our theme for the discussion today has to do with the connection between the performing arts and devotion. And the broader theme of this series has to do with the relationship between old and new, between tradition and innovation. And I can't think of a better pair of artists to bring here to demonstrate and to talk about that theme, because in Bali there's a very, very strong sense of tradition going back centuries in the performing arts. And it's really profound and it's really ubiquitous throughout the culture. But part of the tradition is innovation. Part of the tradition of Balinese music and dance is to create new work. And so when you do something new, when you do something experimental, that's in Bali, that doesn't undercut tradition. That continues tradition and it enriches tradition. So what I'd like to do is we have a short video of one of Professor Windha's pieces. He's one of the most renowned composers, probably the most renowned living composer in Bali, and he loves when I go on and on about that. But it really is a big deal that we have him here. And in Indonesia. He taught at the Arts Conservatory, the National Arts Conservatory in Bali for decades. And Ibu Warsiki, our dance instructor, she taught at Kokar, which is the preparatory academy for the National Conservatory. So they are both really highly esteemed artists. The piece we're going to see and hear a little bit of is one of Professor Windha's pretty recent piece, about a decade? 10 years ago. Between gamelan and orchestra. Yeah.
And also dance.
And dance.
Yeah.
So we're going to play the video. I think it's about 4 minutes. 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So I'll play the video, and then I'll ask Professor Warsiki and Professor Windha to come up here and join me, and we'll just have a little bit of a discussion with them. And then we'll move over to the instruments, and I'll stop talking, and we'll mostly, and then we'll demonstrate a few things for you.
heren, graag een applaus voor Bali Dance Art. Met een mooie openingsdans op deze awardavond, de uitreiking.
Okay, we're going to pause the video now, and I'll ask Professor Windha and Professor Warsiki to join me up here. You want us to use mics? Yeah. So, first of all, thanks. I've told you this 100 times, but thank you so much for being here today and for being here this semester and for being here in Utah. It's just such a blessing to have you here. So, Professor Windha, could you talk a little bit about how you think about the relationship between tradition and experimentation, or tradition and innovation as a composer?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Yeah. So in Bali, traditionally we keep it very strongly. To learn Balinese Gamelan has to be, and when we're doing to innovation or do something new on the Gamelan, we have to do the traditional first. Basic, we have to know how to play traditional piece and know the structure, even is like the structure, and also the how to play, how to get the sound right, and also to work together. That's most important. And then from there, by time, we have a formal school like the Art of Institute of the Art in Bali, and also conservatory is becoming more developing about the Balinese culture. In music and dance, it's not just the music itself developed, and also the instrument. There are many new instruments we develop from the musician or composer. Yeah, they want to do something new, but without knowing that tradition will be impossible to do the new thing. That's why, because in Bali we keep the tradition strongly, and also this piece is combination between the innovation and traditional also, and put together and also the dance. So that's why we never afraid about the Balinese culture to lose our tradition, but still, even we play the contemporary or innovation piece or contemporary piece, but traditionally we still keep it, because in Bali we have our religion is keep very strongly the music and dance, the culture, the art. Yeah, because no one ceremony is complete without music and dance. That's why, starting from the 10 years old, in Bali, we starting to learn the art such as gamelan, dance, and related to the ceremony. Yeah, and also from there, that's why many people think, yeah, we feel so. It's not good if you don't know how to do Balinese dance and gamelan if you live in Bali as a Balinese. Yeah, because it's very close to the religion. Yeah, and from there, most people can keep tradition, and also the people who study in music formally, they also trying to create something new. Of course, yeah, they're trying to get inspiration from not just from. I think it's from the music all the world. We're trying to get inspiration and learn the other music, and because Balinese music is really I believe myself. Yeah, I learn Balinese. How I play Balinese music. The techniques can be go anywhere. We are just believe ourselves to play under another music, other country. Yeah, I mean the inspiration from there. Even we don't know how to play Western music, but at least we know this music can be inspired for our music, sometimes like that. Yeah, and sometimes from there we create something music, something new, or even we can create something instrument also, not just the music itself, and also the new instrument we use as a idiom to create something new. Yeah.
he probably doesn't want me to tell you this, but as soon as he got here, he'd been here about a month. He said he was talking to me, and he said, "I found a guy in Bali who has some old instruments that I'm going to turn into some new instruments." It was like a really quirky keyboard configuration that's really unusual, that uses an old tuning, but it configures it differently on the keyboard. And that was his first thought was, okay, as soon as I get back to Bali, I'm going to take this old thing and do this new thing to this old thing. It was the first thing that he told me. Could you both maybe, Ibu, you were showing me the other day a little bit about how some teaching method had changed in dance, and also how some of the choreography had danced. You were showing me some things with your hand. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you can explain it, or you can have.
Yeah, Agam. Yeah, let's do the basic position of the Balinese dance, like a pose. Yeah, like a pose. Yeah, basic. From the ankle. Yeah, one. Yeah.
And stomach in, and open your chest, and bend your knees. And this, we call this agam. It's like agam, lay your body right side, and all your wet body on right foot. This nothing. Maybe later you can try. Yeah, like this.
Yeah, all the body weight on the right. Yeah.
This we call right agam. And this, the opposite, left agam. Kick stomach in, and open your chest, and lean your body left side. While you dance, keep moving your fingers. My teacher told me before, without move the fingers, my teacher just say, why you dance like statue? Just move like this. It means like statue. It's not life. We did all life. The dance from you head to foot, it's all life. They have all energy. We call left agam. And now we can doing sledet. That sledet mean move your eyes side to middle or side to side. Maybe I need to like this we call sledet. We have many kind expression. The strong dance with strong expression. This like the very smooth dance. You will like this. Who's that? Where are you? This the movement like this. Tarera rinja. Who's that? Where are you? Oh, are you going there? We have like the movement like this. Chorarerang, chereroreng, chararerang, orangdareng, jararerang, jarararang. That's the strong character. We have like this the movement like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's strong and open eyes. Strong and not sweet. And not strong again. Expression suddenly that's very quickly changing the expression. Depend the dance. If strong dance, strong expression.
Can I ask you both a question? So we've been working on two pieces. One is an older piece. Pendet is it's an older style. It's a newer piece, but an older style. And Margapati, which is a new piece. And one of the things that seems to change over time is not just the expression, but how quickly you move between expressions. So in Pendet, it has a lot of the same feel, but Margapati moves between feelings faster.
Yeah. The Pendet is a female dance, more refined and sweet. Yeah. The Margapati is the dancer is from female, but the character is man, because Margapati Margas mean animal, Patis means king of the animal. I think it's king of the forest. The expression is stronger. Yeah. Much stronger than Pendet. Yeah. Pendet is welcome then to welcome the audience by throwing the flower while they are dance. Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we play a little bit?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we can do the Pendet demonstration a little bit. Okay.
Do you want to do the whole thing?
Yeah, let's do Pendet.
Okay. Where's the gap? What should I play? I'll play gong. Yeah. Is that okay? Unless you want me to dance.
I sort of know this, but so I'm gonna move behind you. He's a good dancer. I'll follow you. Okay.
we were joined by Amy Jex, my colleague from dance, who has helped facilitate Ibu Warsiki's residency in the dance department. So thanks, Amy. I'm glad you stepped up. That was good. It's great. Okay, so I wanted to just demonstrate a couple of things that are kind of central to how gamelan works. I talked a little bit before about how deeply, here, I'll get out of your way. You can go play gong. How deeply embedded in community Balinese Gamelan is. And so we wanted to demonstrate a couple of aspects of that. And one of them is kotekan. So kotekan, it's a word that it comes from like rice pounding, right, Pa? It's like a like a mortar and pestle pounding rice into rice flour. So multiple people stand around the basin and pound rice with a stick, da 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 da, and they do it in a synchronized way. And so we turn that in Balinese music. That turns into a way of playing melodies as a group that are faster and more intricate than any of us could play individually by ourselves. So we're going to demonstrate. Do you want to do kotekan? Do you want me to do this, Noah? I put you on the spot. Oh, okay. So, here, do you want to go? I'm just going to show you a Penyacha melody. So we're going to do a couple of, we're going to do a melody here over a gong pattern and a beat. And Professor Windha and I will demonstrate some of the interlocking methods of kotekan. And we'll do all four types? Okay. And, okay, we'll go from there.
Let's start with the kajar first and the gong, with the structure. 8 beats today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
One more thing I wanted to just mention about the ensemble, and then we could move back over to the chairs and do some questions in a second. one of the things that I love about the gamelan ensemble is also the way that it's tuned, because you can't really, I mean, we just saw, neither of us could play, well, he probably could, but mere mortals can't play both of those parts at the same time, right? So in order to get the effect that we just heard, you have to have two people playing in really, really tight synchronization with each other. So in gamelan, there's not a lot of very interesting stuff that you can do by yourself. And that goes down to even the way the instruments are tuned. So the way, like the big gong, for example, is tuned. Could you hit the gong, Ibu? So the gong, it's hot hammered so that it has that nice tone. Can you hit it again? But you can also maybe hear that it has kind of a reverberation. And after they forge it and hammer it, so it has a nice tone, then they very carefully knock it a little bit out of tune with itself, so that it has that kind of interference pattern called ombak, which just means wave, right? Wave. And we can hear it also in the pairs of instruments. It's probably easiest to hear over here on the jublag.
Let's do one voice. No, I did not. No, one key first. Oh, I don't know how this is different, but you do good.
Now, can you hear those two? They're not the same pitch. They're the same note, but they're not the same pitch. Now together again. And that's the case with all of these paired instruments. So even just a single note has richness and ornamentation. So it's fun to come to rehearsal just to hear noise, because even the noise is good. Okay, so I think it's 1:45. Are we okay if Professor Windha and Warsiki and I move back over here and we can do some Q&A? While we're moving, can we give our players another hand?
That was gorgeous. That is so fantastic, and I hope that you were a little disoriented. This maybe took you out of your comfort zone a little bit, and we're open to the possibilities that there is beauty in ways that you haven't yet experienced. We will go for 15 minutes and just have a discussion. So if there's anything that you observed here or anything that they've said that gave you a question about why it's done the way it is, please jump in. Lyndon's here. She's going to pass you the mic. So we just invite you to tell us who you are, and then we'll take questions.
Hi, Aaron Rose, right here from the Kennedy Center. I have a question about learning the gamelan, not necessarily because I personally am interested, even though it is a fascinating instrument, but from like a Western music point of view, for someone who's schooled in the type of music that most of us understand as learning a little bit of piano or singing or another instrument, what is that like to learn something like the gamelan for someone coming from our musical experience?
Ooh, that's a good question. Do you want one of them to answer it?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Any of you want to answer that question, learning gamelan? I don't want to put Michaela on the spot, but this is her very first semester in the group.
I guess I only have a little experience in piano too, but with the gamelan, I feel that since I'm playing the melody, I enjoy it more than piano, just since you do have the other person and it's kind of to go back and forth, so it's more community oriented. But I feel it's a little bit easier skill-wise, since your right hand is used to play the note and your left hand is used to mute the note on time, rather than try to play chords 2 times at once, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a great Michaela mentioned one of the things that we didn't talk about this, but when you're most of these instruments, you play with one hand and then you have to pinch to to stop the sound before you hit the next bar. Rachel, do you want to demonstrate that since you're there in the front? So her left hand is following the mallet by one note. And if you're playing really fast, like when Professor Windha and I were playing in Kotekan, he would play a note and then pinch just as I was playing the next note. So it's that kind of synchronization is really tricky to learn. But I also, and tell me if I'm wrong, you guys, but I used to teach that a lot, like talk a lot about how to do the technique, and I stopped doing that because it didn't make it any faster. Do you talk much about technique? When you're teaching, do you talk about technique much, or do you just go?
In Bali or here?
Both, yeah.
Both, yeah. In Bali, of course, Bali they know already the technique, but here we have to get to know all the piece first. From there we can learn how to dam, how to make the sound, and when they get the form, the structure of the piece, yeah, step by step we'll develop the technique, yeah, and the cortex and the interlocking configuration and offbeat, who is offbeat, who is onbeat, something like that.
I've learned a lot from Professor Windha just watching how he teaches. He teaches in a very, it's a different way than a conductor teaching a new piece to an orchestra. Because he mentioned, he teaches the structure first, and then we add in layers of detail. And it makes it so that the stuff that the whole group kind of knows collectively is a little more embedded, a little kind of a deeper kind of tactile knowledge. One thing to answer your question, Aaron, that I've noticed is that when we have students come in, especially if they've had some experience in ensembles, an orchestra or band or something, they're terrified of hitting wrong notes. And we hit wrong notes all the time. Well, like we start playing when Professor Windha teaches a piece, just jumps in and starts. He'll sit across the instrument from you and just start teaching your piece, teaching your part, which means that he's playing it backwards, right? Because he's on the other side of the instrument. And you just jump in and you just hit a bunch of wrong notes. And we sometimes have to train our students to not be so terrified of that. They'll want to hear. Sometimes they'll sit across from Professor Windha and listen to him do it like a dozen times, and we'll be like, "What are you doing? Just play." And they're like, "I don't know it yet." And we're like, "Well, of course you don't. You're gonna hit a million wrong notes anyway. You might as well start the clock sooner, you know." I don't know. Is there the same fear of a lot of music students? I think, especially, they don't want to ever play wrong notes. So they wait a lot longer to hear you play it the right way. Is that different in Bali? What happens when you play wrong notes in Bali?
Yeah, it's trying to do because we can hear the people who play with, yeah, because they listen all the part, yeah. That's not just what they're doing, what he's doing, yeah. By listen to, if they can listen the wrong note is automatically the pace will go to the one who make a mistake, something like that. Yeah, yeah, automatically, especially the gong, especially. Gong is very important instrument in the Balinese music, yeah, because the gong is mark the cycle of the piece, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. If we don't, it's supposed to be gong, but the gong player is great, something like that, yeah. All the musicians will be looking to the gong. Yeah, yeah, automatically, yeah, yeah.
It's really funny when somebody misses the gong.
Yeah.
It's really funny when an American misses the gong. Sure.
So thank you very much. Are you ever reading sheet music, or is it only from ear?
No reading, no score at all.
No score.
Yeah, that's why we have to give ensemble, and the musician who learn just imitate what I was doing, and trying to repeat and play and try again. That's way. That's one way. Because we don't need the score, because we learn the piece not by looking, because we have to learn by feeling. Yeah, when we play right and we can feel it, and we feel ourselves, and then how is the all instruments work together, listening to play, and the the most important is listening to the other part to control our dynamic changing. Because a lot's going on during the music, not just the melody, also the tempo changing, the dynamic changing, and also look at the leading instrument. The drummer is to lead the instrument, yeah, by looking by body movement, some language, something like that, yeah, and the work together with the leading instrument at the highest one. Yeah, always, even you don't look like this, but even you look straight, but you feeling is still see there. You can still see the other people, yeah, and listening to, yeah. It's Balinese Gamelan is about working together.
Hi, I'm Marnie Hassan. I also work here at the Kennedy Center. I'm just curious, as you're learning these instruments, like children when they're first starting, are these instruments something families keep at home? You have like a set of them or one piece and you bring it collectively when you're playing together, or you go to community centers to play together? How does that work when you're first learning?
Yeah, in Bali, most the kid, yeah, because in Bali some family has a gamelan, their own gamelan, and also in Bali we have a community hall because we have a group of Bali we call community social community in Bali we call it Banjar. Yeah, Banjar is Bangar, or yeah, every Banjar has a community center, community hall, and every Banjar has a gamelan, their own gamelan. The kid allowed to play whenever they want, like playing, like a kid. Yeah, they can just for fun to play and to try to keep it. Yeah, that's why get into that. And of course, in one community has one to lead who know to play gamelan well. Yeah, they can collect the people, and we have a group because every Banjar has a group gamelan to play for the not just for the performance like and also for the temple ceremony, because a part of our life is gamelan, music, and dance as a part of our ceremony in Bali. The temple ceremony, cremation ceremony, always have a music and dance. That's why one way to respect to the God is play music, and also if they do know how to play music, they can do the decorating the area of the temple, something like that, and help on the people, whatever they can do. Yeah, the group of people singing on right corner, and the group of people playing music, and the group of people dancing, and also, yeah, the atmosphere is like one community. Yeah, like if you come to Bali, you will see how it's going on in the temple, just one way, just one temple. Yeah, in one ceremony. Yeah, okay.
James Jeffries, alumni. When does a dancer really start to learn her or his craft, and when do they kind of retire?
So like my wife and me also, I was a dancer before. I learned in Bali. This was not music but dance first, but I focus on music. Yeah, mostly in Bali we starting to learn from kindergarten. Six years already started. My granddaughter is starting to learn how to dance when she was 6 years old, and then yeah,
really good.
and also we have a private uh, a dance group to learn, and also in school they teach the dance. And also one good about Bali is the student who know how to get a word from the dance. Yeah, it's easy to get they are the school getting high school. That's way to support the talent. Yeah, scholarship. Yeah, talent. They have a good talent, dance or music, gamelan, drummer, something like that. They have a special. It's easy to go. Yeah, like award. Yeah, like a sponsorship. And government also support our traditional music and dance in Bali. And also in Bali we have annual event, we call it Bali Art Festival, every year from June until July, 1 month full, every day from 10 to midnight. We have a 5 state in the Bali Art Festival. We call it Art Center in Bali, full with the performances, and also the food, not just the performance, also the food, Balinese food, yeah, traditional food, yeah. Yeah.
Well, and he also asked, when does a dancer retire?
Yeah, retired. Yeah, yeah, like, oh, still, it's depend, depend. If he can still, if it's still older, old, he still can dance also, because in at the temple ceremony, if they stop dance like a professional dancer, they can still dance for the community as a part of the community, social community, like a temple ceremony, because we have a secret dance, yeah, secret dance, yeah, yeah, a part of ceremony. Without that dance, the ceremony is not finished yet. Yeah.
I'm just going to add, if you go on YouTube and Google Ed Sullivan and Gamelan, you'll see a performance on the Ed Sullivan show from, I think, maybe 1952. That would have been like Gusti Raka. Yeah. She was a young girl at the time. This is the first group that toured Europe and the United States from Bali, and they were on the Ed Sullivan show in the 50s. And the dancer, the featured dancer, she was maybe 11 or 12. I saw her, she died just a few years ago. I saw her dance when she was very old, and I was at a workshop, and the dancers were begging her, please, please, can you dance this dance? The one that she had done on the Ed Sullivan show. And she's like, no, I'm too old, and my feet don't work. And they begged her, and so she said, okay, I'll do the dance. And she sat on the edge of the stage and just did the whole dance from the waist up. And all of the expression that was missing because she wasn't using her legs, she made up for it in her face. You saw how much expression there is in the face and in the hands. And that was one of the most amazing experiences to see. She had to have been close to 80, doing this dance that she had made like globally famous. So I don't know if dancers ever retire.
Never, because
Yeah.
when they are sick, yeah, a lot of dancers in Bali, when they get sick, yeah, is the someone trying to see how the condition. As to dance, people when they get sick, just lay down, and as to dance, she can dance. Yeah, like a medicine. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, and after that, go back again. Okay.
Our time is coming to an end. I hope that you've been as enchanted by this as I have. If you would like to come on up and meet our musicians and performers and look at the instruments, please do that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating with us. Happy Friday.